Before we begin, please note that the information provided in this video is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be construed as legal, financial, or tax advice. The world of international citizenship, residency, and tax law is complex and changes frequently. We are not lawyers, financial advisors, or immigration experts. You should always consult with qualified professionals who can assess your individual situation before making any decisions. Your actions and their consequences are your own. What if I told you the most valuable asset you could own in the 21st century isn't a stock, a bond, or a piece of real estate? What if it's not a new degree or a high-income skill? What if the single most powerful tool for protecting your wealth, securing your family's future, and guaranteeing your personal freedom is a second passport? For most Americans, that idea sounds strange, almost unpatriotic. We're told from birth that we hold the golden ticket, the coveted blue passport of the United States of America. It's a symbol of freedom, of opportunity, of being number one. And for a long time that was undeniably true. But the world is changing, and it's changing fast. Let's be honest with ourselves. Does the American dream feel the same as it did 20 or even 10 years ago? For millions of people, the answer is a quiet but resounding no. We see the political division that slices through families and communities. We feel the economic ground shifting beneath our feet, with inflation eating away at our savings and the national debt spiraling into numbers we can't even comprehend. We watch as new laws and regulations seem to chip away at our personal and financial freedoms, one by one. There's a growing sense of instability, a feeling that the system we've always trusted is becoming fragile. And with that fragility comes a terrifying question. What if my only option is to just sit here and hope for the best? What if I'm trapped? This is the silent fear that keeps successful, hardworking Americans awake at night. You've done everything right. You've built a business, a career, a portfolio. You've provided for your family, but you're building it all on a single foundation. You have one citizenship, one passport, one government that has ultimate control over your freedom of movement, your assets, and your future. You are, in effect, a product owned entirely by one company, with no alternative if you disagree with the management. This is where the paradigm shifts. This is where you stop thinking like a citizen of a single country and start thinking like a global citizen. Acquiring a second citizenship is not about abandoning America. It's not about escaping. It is the single most effective insurance policy you can buy for your life. Think of it like a fire extinguisher. You buy a fire extinguisher hoping you'll never, ever have to use it. But you'd be an absolute fool not to have one sitting in your kitchen. A second passport is a fire extinguisher for geopolitical and economic chaos. It's the ultimate plan B. It's the key that unlocks the door to a world of options you never even knew existed. It's the power to say, I have a choice. Now, I know what you're thinking because I've heard it all before. The moment you mention second citizenship, 3 major myths immediately pop into people's heads. And we need to shatter these right now before we go any further. The first myth is the wealth myth. This is only for James Bond villains and tech billionaires hiding on private islands. This is the biggest misconception, and it's flat out wrong. Yes, there are programs called Citizenship by Investment or CBI, where you can make a significant investment or donation to a country in exchange for a passport. And we will cover those in detail. But that's just one path. There are dozens of other routes that are surprisingly accessible. Do you have a grandparent, or in some cases even a great-grandparent from Ireland, Italy, Poland, or a number of other countries? You may already be eligible for citizenship by descent, a process that costs little more than paperwork and patience. Are you willing to live abroad for a few years? Many beautiful, stable, and affordable countries offer a clear path to citizenship through residency, a process called naturalization. The idea that this is a game reserved only for the ultra-wealthy is a myth designed to keep you from exploring your options. The truth is, a plan B is within reach for far more people than you can imagine. The second myth is the legality myth. This sounds shady. It must be illegal or some kind of gray market trick. Let me be crystal clear. We are only talking about 100% legal government-sanctioned programs. These aren't back-alley deals for fake documents. These are official legislated programs created by sovereign nations to attract talented, successful individuals and foreign investment to their shores. They want you. They want your skills, your capital, and your business. They conduct intense background checks and due diligence. They are often more thorough than any bank. This is a legitimate, above-board strategy used by some of the world's most successful entrepreneurs and investors to globalize their lives. It's not about hiding. It's about expanding. And that brings us to the third, and for Americans the most important myth to debunk, the renunciation myth. If I get another passport, I have to give up my US citizenship. This is the fear that stops most people in their tracks. And the answer is an emphatic no. The United States government explicitly permits its citizens to hold dual citizenship. You do not have to choose. You can be a citizen of the United States and a citizen of Portugal, or Malta, or St. Kitts. This is not about replacement, it's about addition. It's about adding a layer of security, adding a new set of rights, adding a new flag to fly alongside your American one. You get to keep all the benefits of being an American citizen while adding the benefits of a second strategic citizenship on top of it. It's the best of both worlds. So why would you want to do this? What are the concrete, life-changing benefits that a second passport delivers? It goes so far beyond just having another travel document. Over the course of this presentation, we are going to dissect every single advantage. We're going to talk about the incredible freedom of visa-free travel to over 170 countries, including places that might be difficult for Americans to access. We will dive deep into the world of international tax strategy, exploring how a second citizenship can be the cornerstone of a plan to legally reduce your tax burden, protect your assets from lawsuits and creditors, and operate outside the U.S. financial system. We'll look at how it provides a safe haven for your family, a stable, welcoming country you can move to tomorrow if you ever needed to, no questions asked. We'll uncover business and investment opportunities in emerging markets that are simply off-limits to those with only a U.S. passport. This is your roadmap. By the time we are finished, you will understand this world inside and out. You will know the top countries, the different pathways, the costs, the timelines, and the critical mistakes to avoid. This isn't just theory. This is a practical guide to building a fortress of freedom around you and your family. It's about diversifying the single most important aspect of your life, your citizenship, so that no single government, no single economy, and no single political class has 100% control over your destiny. It's about taking back control. And the first, most fundamental way to take back that control is to build yourself a fortress. Not a fortress of brick and mortar, but a fortress of options. Think of it as the ultimate insurance policy. You insure your home against fire, your car against a crash, your health against illness. You do this not because you expect your house to burn down, but because the consequences if it does are catastrophic. You mitigate risk. Yet, the average successful American has failed to insure themselves against the single biggest risk of all, geopolitical and domestic instability. They have 100% of their personal freedom, their family's safety, and their future prospects tied to the fate of a single country. A country that, let's be honest, is more divided and uncertain than at any time in recent memory. This isn't about being pessimistic. It's about being a realist. Look at the political landscape. The pendulum swings harder and more violently with every election cycle. Policies are enacted, then immediately ripped up and reversed 4 years later. The rhetoric becomes more extreme, the divisions deeper. One side views the other not as the opposition but as an existential threat. This creates a volatile environment where your business, your investments, and even your personal liberties can be dramatically impacted by a single election outcome you have no control over. What if a new administration decides your industry is the enemy and targets it with punitive taxes and regulations? What if a wealth tax, once a fringe idea, becomes mainstream policy? What if social policies are enacted that go against your deepest held values, making you feel like a stranger in your own country? Having a second citizenship means you are no longer a captive audience to this drama. You have a seat in a different theater. You have the ability to simply stand up and walk out if the show becomes unbearable. Then there's the economic reality. The United States is sitting on a mountain of debt that defies comprehension. We're talking trillions. To manage this, the government has two basic tools: tax more or print more money. Both of these options directly erode your wealth and purchasing power. Higher taxes are a direct confiscation of your hard-earned money. Printing money, or quantitative easing as they like to call it, is a hidden tax called inflation, silently stealing the value of every dollar you have saved. We've all felt it at the grocery store and the gas pump. What was once a stable foundation is showing cracks. The US dollar's status as the world's reserve currency is being challenged for the first time in generations. While a total collapse is unlikely, a significant devaluation is a very real possibility. When you have a second citizenship, you gain the right to live and, crucially, bank in another jurisdiction. You can diversify your assets into other currencies, other economies, protecting yourself from a potential crisis in the U.S. financial system. It's the financial equivalent of building an escape raft before the ship even starts taking on water. This brings us to the most visceral reason for a Plan B: physical safety and social cohesion. We've seen the images of protests, riots, and cities struggling with crime and decay. There's a growing sense of unease, a feeling that the social fabric is fraying. For many, the dream of a safe, quiet community to raise a family feels more and more distant. They worry about the direction of the culture, the quality of the schools, and the safety of their children. A second passport is your emergency exit. It's a legal, legitimate claim to residence in a country that might be safer, more stable, and more aligned with your values. Imagine a place where your kids can play outside without fear, where political discourse is civil, and where the sense of community is strong. For many, this isn't a fantasy. It's a reality they've secured in places like Portugal, Malta, or street kits. They may never use it. They may continue to live their entire lives in the US. But the profound peace of mind that comes from knowing it's there, that is priceless. It transforms your entire mindset from one of anxiety and dependence to one of empowerment and control. History is littered with the ghosts of people who thought, "It can't happen here." Wealthy Cubans in the 1950s, confident that Batista's regime was unshakable, woke up to Castro and lost everything. The prosperous middle class in Venezuela, once the wealthiest country in South America, saw their society crumble into poverty and chaos. The Jews in 1930s Germany, many of whom were decorated war heroes and pillars of their communities, couldn't fathom how quickly their world would be turned upside down. In almost every major societal collapse, there were two groups of people: those who were trapped and those who had a way out. The difference very often was a second passport. It was the piece of paper that allowed them to board a plane, cross a border, and start a new life, while their neighbors who had identical homes and bank accounts were left to face the disaster. Thinking this way isn't un-American. In fact, it's the ultimate expression of the American ideal of self-reliance. The original pioneers didn't wait for permission or a safety net. They saw a risk, be it economic hardship or religious persecution, and they took action. They packed up and moved across an ocean to build a better future for their families. Securing a second citizenship is the 21st century equivalent of that pioneering spirit. It's taking personal responsibility for your family's destiny in a world that is global and interconnected. It's recognizing that the nation-state you were born in is just one of nearly 200 options on the menu. Why limit yourself to just one, especially when the kitchen is showing signs of chaos? This isn't about abandoning the United States. For most, it's the opposite. It's about gaining the security and peace of mind that allows you to better enjoy your life in America. When you know you have an escape hatch, you're less fearful of the political noise. You're less anxious about economic downturns. You can engage, build your business, and live your life with a level of confidence that someone who is 100% dependent on the system simply cannot have. You're no longer a hostage to fortune. You are the architect of your own. This is the defensive strategy. This is the foundation. It's the ultimate insurance policy that guarantees your family's safety and freedom, no matter what happens back home. But having a plan B is just one side of the coin. It's the brilliant, necessary defensive move on the global chessboard. But what about the offense? What about not just protecting what you have, but radically expanding your horizons? What if a second passport wasn't just an escape hatch, but a key that could unlock a world of unprecedented freedom, opportunity, and lifestyle options that are simply unavailable to those holding only a US passport? Let's start by shattering a common myth. The idea of a second passport isn't about abandoning your identity or renouncing your love for your country. It's about upgrading your status in the world. It's about adding tools to your toolkit. It's about playing the game of life at a higher, more strategic level, with more options on the board than anyone else. It's the ultimate life hack for the 21st century, and it's more accessible than you could ever imagine. The first and most immediate upgrade you'll experience is a dramatic enhancement in your global mobility. Now you might be thinking, but I have a US passport. It's one of the best in the world, right? And for a long time that was undeniably true. But the world is changing, and the power of the American passport, while still strong, has been quietly slipping. In recent years, we've seen it slide down the rankings of the world's most powerful passports. Geopolitical tensions, shifting alliances, and new visa requirements mean that doors that were once wide open can now creak shut with little warning. Imagine this scenario. You're a tech entrepreneur, and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity pops up. a critical last-minute meeting in Shanghai that could secure a multi-million-dollar deal for your company. The meeting is in 5 days. But there's a problem. You need a visa. So you scramble. You fill out endless forms, gather documents, book a non-refundable flight hoping for the best, and rush to the consulate, only to be told the processing time is 10 to 15 business days. The opportunity vanishes. Gone. Lost to bureaucracy. Now, imagine the same scenario, but in your safe you have another passport. A passport from, say, Grenada. You check the requirements. Visa-free access to China for 30 days. You book your flight, pack your bag, and you go. You walk through immigration while your competitors are still trying to figure out how to fill out Form DS-160. That is the power we're talking about. It's the difference between seizing an opportunity and watching it slip through your fingers. It's about removing friction. Every visa application is a point of friction. It costs time, it costs money, and it requires you to hand over vast amounts of personal information to a foreign government with no guarantee of approval. A second passport from a strategic country can eliminate dozens of these friction points, essentially giving you a global easy pass while others are stuck in the long, slow, cash-only lane. It's not just about access to more countries. It's about the speed and freedom with which you can navigate the world. But this is about so much more than convenient travel. A second passport is the single greatest tool for what we call geopolitical diversification. It's the ultimate insurance policy against uncertainty. Let's be honest, the political and social climate in the United States has become turbulent. The division is palpable. Regardless of which side of the aisle you're on, there's a growing sense that the country is on a precarious path. We see headlines about civil unrest, radical policy shifts, economic instability, and the erosion of personal freedoms. And you start to ask yourself those quiet what-if questions late at night. What if things get worse? What if the economy takes a nosedive? What if a new law is passed that directly impacts my business, my family, or my way of life? What if the country I love starts to feel like a place I no longer recognize? These are not paranoid questions. They are prudent questions. We diversify our financial investments, right? You'd never put your entire life savings into a single stock. That would be reckless. So why are we willing to bet everything, our wealth, our safety, our family's future, our entire existence, on a single country, a single political system, a single passport? A second citizenship is your hedge against that risk. It's a peaceful, legal, and proactive step to ensure that no matter what happens at home, you and your family will always have a safe harbor. A plan B, a place to go where you are welcomed not as a refugee, but as a citizen. Think of the people throughout history, in countries that seem stable and prosperous, from pre-war Germany to modern-day Venezuela or Lebanon, who woke up one day to find their world turned upside down. Their currency was worthless, their society was collapsing, and their passport was a liability. The people who thrived, the people who survived and rebuilt, were the ones who had another option. They had a key to another door. That is what a second passport represents. The key to a door that you hope you never have to use, but will be eternally grateful you have if you ever do. Now let's talk about the benefit that can have the most profound and immediate impact on your life. Financial freedom and tax optimization. This is where the American passport, for all its strengths, becomes a set of golden handcuffs. The United States is one of only 2 countries on Earth, the other being the small African nation of Eritrea, that practices something called citizenship-based taxation. This is a crucial concept to understand. It means that as a U.S. citizen, you are legally required to report your entire worldwide income to the IRS and pay U.S. taxes on it, no matter where you live and no matter where you earn your money. Let that sink in. You could move to Dubai, a city with 0 personal income tax. You could build a successful business there, earning millions of dollars entirely outside of the U.S. You could pay all your local fees and be in perfect standing with the UE government. And yet, every year you would still have to file a complex U.S. tax return and write a massive check to the IRS in Washington, D.C. You are tethered to the U.S. tax system for life, simply by virtue of your citizenship. It's a financial ball and chain that no other developed nation attaches to its people. A second citizenship is the first and most critical step in legally severing that chain. For those who decide they want to truly globalize their life and escape this lifelong tax obligation, the only way is to eventually renounce U.S. citizenship. And you cannot renounce your U.S. citizenship unless you are already a citizen of another country. Doing so would make you stateless, which is illegal under international law. So, securing that second passport is the non-negotiable prerequisite. It gives you the option. It puts you back in the driver's seat of your own financial destiny. It allows you to choose the tax system you live under, just as you choose the country you live in. This isn't about illegal tax evasion. It's about legal tax migration. It's about structuring your life in a way that is most advantageous to you and your family, and protecting the wealth you've worked so hard to build. Beyond taxes, a second citizenship opens up a world of asset protection and financial privacy. It can grant you access to international banks and investment opportunities that are often closed to U.S. citizens due to burdensome regulations like FATCA. You can structure your assets across different jurisdictions, creating a financial fortress that is resilient to economic downturns, frivolous lawsuits, or potential capital controls in any single country. It's about building redundancy and security into your financial life, ensuring that a crisis in one part of the world doesn't wipe out everything you own. So we've talked about the freedom to move without friction, the freedom to be secure in a volatile world, and the freedom to keep more of what you earn. But what about the freedom to simply live better? What if this wasn't just about defense, but about actively and joyfully creating a superior quality of life? What if you could choose a home base with a lower cost of living, better healthcare, safer streets, and a culture that aligns perfectly with your values? This isn't a hypothetical. For a growing number of Americans, this is the reality they are actively building. It's a fundamental paradigm shift from playing defense to playing offense with your own life. Let's make this real. Let's talk about Mark. Mark is, by all American metrics, a success. He's a software architect in Austin, Texas, pulling in a solid six-figure salary. He and his wife have 2 kids, a mortgage on a nice, but not extravagant 4-bedroom house in a good school district, and 2 car payments. They do everything right. They max out their 401ks, they contribute to 529 college savings plans, they have the good health insurance through his employer. And yet, every single month they feel the squeeze. The property taxes on their home just went up, again. The cost of groceries feels like a gut punch every time they go to the checkout line. And that good health insurance? It still comes with a $5,000 deductible, and the fear of a real medical emergency, the kind that could wipe out their savings overnight, is a constant, low-humming anxiety in the back of their minds. Mark feels like he's on a golden hamster wheel. He's running faster and faster, making more money than ever before, but he's not actually getting anywhere. The dream he was sold feels hollow. Now, imagine Mark discovers the concept of second citizenship. At first, he dismisses it as something for spies or billionaires. But then he starts looking into a country like Portugal. He learns about their non-habitual resident tax program, which could drastically lower his tax burden. He starts looking at real estate. He sees a beautiful, modern apartment with a balcony overlooking the ocean in a coastal town, for less than half the price of his landlocked suburban home in Texas. He starts doing the math, the real-life calculus, the family's monthly expenses. Mortgage, food, utilities, transportation could be cut by 40, maybe even 50%. But it's not just about the numbers. He sees photos of the local markets, overflowing with fresh produce, fish caught that morning, and artisanal cheese, all for a fraction of what he pays at Whole Foods. He reads about the lifestyle. People taking 2-hour lunches, sipping espresso at outdoor cafes, prioritizing family and leisure time over the relentless hustle. The money he's earning in US dollars would suddenly have double the purchasing power. This isn't just about saving money. It's about buying back his time. It's the ability to work less and live more. To go from a life defined by financial obligation to one defined by personal freedom. That golden hamster wheel starts to look less like a career path and more like a cage. Then Mark thinks about healthcare. A few years ago, his youngest son had a severe asthma attack and had to be rushed to the emergency room. The care was excellent, but the bill that arrived a month later was breathtaking. Thousands of dollars even after insurance. Mark paid it, but the fear lingered. What if it had been something worse? What if one of them got cancer? The American system, he realized, ties your health and your wealth together in a terrifying knot. Now, he looks at the healthcare system in a country like Spain or France. He reads about their world-class public healthcare, accessible to all residents. He learns about the affordable, high-quality private options. He hears stories from expats who had major surgeries, received incredible care in pristine modern hospitals, and walked out with a bill for a few €100, or in many cases nothing at all. Imagine the psychological weight that lifts. The freedom from the fear that a single unlucky diagnosis could bankrupt your family. It's a form of security that no amount of money in an American bank account can truly buy. It's the peace of mind that allows you to fully live, knowing that you and your family are protected by a system designed for care, not for profit. Finally, Mark thinks about his kids. He loves his community, but he can't ignore the headlines. The political division that makes every conversation feel like a minefield. The constant, low-level worry about school safety. The pressure on his kids to compete, to excel, to build the perfect resume before they've even hit high school. He wants something different for them. He starts reading about life for families in a place like Malta. He sees a country with one of the lowest crime rates in the world. He reads about a culture where community is everything, where kids still play outside in the streets until dusk, and where English is an official language, making the transition seamless. He imagines his children growing up bilingual, effortlessly switching between languages. He imagines them being exposed to thousands of years of history just by walking down the street, developing a global perspective that he never had. He pictures a life where the biggest daily stress isn't active shooter drills or political arguments with neighbors, but deciding which beautiful beach to visit after school. This isn't about escaping problems. It's about choosing a better set of problems. It's about consciously and deliberately choosing an environment that fosters safety, community, and well-being. For Mark, the idea of a second citizenship transforms. It stops being a plan B for some distant dystopian future. It becomes a plan for a richer, freer, and more secure life right now. It's the key that unlocks the door to a world where his hard-earned money buys a higher quality of life, not just more stuff. A world where healthcare is a human right, not a luxury good. And a world where his children can grow up with a sense of safety and global awareness that the American dream, for all its promises, is struggling to deliver. He realizes that patriotism isn't about blindly accepting the limitations of your birth country. True sovereignty is having the power to choose the jurisdiction that best allows you and your family to flourish. But this all sounds like a dream for the ultra-wealthy, right? For billionaires on private jets? What if I told you the path to this life is more accessible than you've ever been led to believe? And it all starts with understanding one critical concept: citizenship by investment. Citizenship by investment, or CBI, is the formal legal process of acquiring a second citizenship and passport by making a significant investment in the economy of a host country. Now I know what you're thinking. Buying a passport. It sounds transactional, maybe even a little shady. But let's reframe that, because that's not what this is. This isn't a back-alley deal. These are official government-sanctioned programs. You're not just buying a travel document. You are making a strategic investment in a nation's future. Your capital goes towards building schools, hospitals, roads, and sustainable energy projects. In return for that nation-building contribution, the country invites you to become one of its own. It's a symbiotic relationship. They get the capital they need to grow, and you get the ultimate asset: global mobility and lifelong freedom for you and your family. And this is where we need to shatter the biggest myth in this entire industry. The myth that this is a secret club reserved for the Jeff Bezoses and Elon Musks of the world. Yes, they have multiple passports, but you don't need a 10-figure net worth to get in the game. You don't need a Gulfstream jet or a super yacht. What you need is a shift in perspective. You need to stop thinking of it as an expense and start seeing it as one of the most powerful investments you will ever make. Let's talk real numbers, because that's the only way to cut through the noise. The price of admission to this world of global citizenship starts at around $100,000. $100,000. Now don't get me wrong, that is a significant amount of money. It is not pocket change. But let's put it in context for the average successful American. What does a down payment on a decent home in California, New York, or even Austin, Texas cost? $200,000? $300,000? What's the price of a 4-year degree at a private university for your child? Over $300,000. What does it cost to start a small business, a franchise, or invest in a promising startup? Easily 6 figures. We make these kinds of investments all the time, viewing them as essential steps towards securing our family's future. A second citizenship is no different. In fact, in today's volatile world, it might be the most important investment of them all. So how does it actually work? There are generally 2 main pathways you can take. Think of them as the direct route and the scenic route. The first is the direct route, a non-refundable contribution to a country's national development fund. This is the simplest and often the fastest option. You make a one-time donation of a specified amount, again starting around $100,000 for a single applicant, directly to the government. That money is then earmarked for national projects. It's a clean, straightforward transaction. You contribute to the country's well-being, and in a matter of months,
Disclaimer: the information presented is for informational purposes only and is not professional financial, investment, or tax advice. All investments involve risk and may result in partial or total loss. You should always conduct your own research and consult with a qualified financial professional before making any financial decisions. By viewing this video, you agree not to hold the creator liable for any loss or damage arising from your use of the information provided.
Once, you and your family are granted full irrevocable citizenship for life. This is for the person who values speed, simplicity, and the knowledge that their funds are having an immediate positive impact on their new home country. But then there's the scenic route. And for many American investors, this is where things get really interesting. This is the real estate option. Instead of a donation, you purchase government-approved real estate for a minimum value, typically starting around $200,000. This isn't just any property. We're talking about shares in 5-star luxury resorts from brands like the Four Seasons or the Park Hyatt, or a beautiful villa overlooking the sea. And here is the absolute game changer. It's a recoverable investment. You are required to hold the property for a set period, usually 5 to 7 years. During that time, you can often put it into a rental pool, generating a modest annual return. And after that holding period, you can sell it. You can sell the property to another CBI applicant, or on the open market, and recoup your initial capital. Let me repeat that. You can get your money back. In some cases, if the market is strong, you might even turn a profit. Think about that for a second. The entire cost of acquiring a second citizenship for your entire family could effectively be reduced to just the government processing fees. You get a world-class passport, a tangible asset in a beautiful location, a potential income stream, and the ability to get your principal investment back down the road. This single fact transforms the entire proposition from a luxury expense into one of the shrewdest financial and lifestyle decisions a person can make. Let me make this real for you. Let's talk about a guy we'll call David. David is a 52-year-old software executive from Chicago. He's done well for himself, but he's no billionaire. He's watched the political division in the US grow more and more intense. He's worried about the long-term stability, the tax policies, and what the future holds for his 2 teenage kids. He wants a plan B, a safety net. He starts researching second passports and falls into the same trap everyone does. He sees headlines about Malta's program costing over €1 million and thinks, well, that's not for me. He almost gives up, but he keeps digging. And then he discovers the Caribbean. He learns about a country called Grenada. He finds out that for an investment of $220,000 into a stunning government-approved seaside resort, he can get citizenship for himself, his wife, and his 2 children. He does the math. The investment is significant, but it's manageable. He realizes the share in the resort can be rented out, generating a 3 to 4% annual return. And after 5 years, he can sell it. The all-in cost, after he gets his capital back, might only be the $50,000 or $60,000 in government fees for lifetime citizenship for 4 people. But then he discovers the ultimate bonus prize. Grenada's passport doesn't just give him visa-free travel to over 140 countries, including the UK, the entire Schengen zone of Europe, and critically China, something his US passport can't do without a complicated visa. Because of a unique treaty, Grenadian citizenship also makes him eligible for the E2 investor visa to the United States. This is a powerful tool. It means his children, once they have their Grenadian passports, will have a streamlined pathway to live and work in the US as adults, should they ever lose their status or want to start a business there. It's an insurance policy on their own American future, ironically provided by a Caribbean nation. David pulls the trigger. The process is rigorous. There are intense background checks, proof of funds, and paperwork. This isn't about just showing up with a suitcase of cash. These countries are very selective. They want reputable, successful individuals to become citizens. They conduct intense due diligence, often using the same third-party agencies the US and UK governments use for security checks. David's application is submitted through an authorized agent, a crucial step to ensure everything is done correctly. For months later, he receives a letter of approval. Only then, after he is approved, does he make the investment. A few weeks after that, his certificate of naturalization arrives. And then the passports. For deep blue Caribbean passports that represent not an escape, but an expansion. His world is no longer defined by a single border. His family's future is no longer tied to the political whims of one single government. He still loves America. He still lives and works in Chicago. But now he has options. He has a foothold in another part of the world. He has a tangible asset, a vacation home, and a powerful travel document. He has peace of mind. He has freedom. That is the power of citizenship by investment. It's not about abandoning your home. It's about adding to it. It's about building a global life on your own terms. It's a sophisticated tool for wealth preservation, personal freedom, and legacy planning. And it is far more accessible than you have been led to believe. The question is no longer if it's possible, but where you should begin. So we've talked about the how, the investment. But the real question, the one that opens up the map of the world, is where? Where are these golden opportunities? Which countries offer the most bang for your buck, the best travel freedom, the most security? In the next part, we're going on a world tour of the top 5 citizenship by investment countries that are rolling out the red carpet for Americans. We'll break down the exact costs, the timelines, and the unique, game-changing benefits of each. From the turquoise waters of the Caribbean to the historic heart of Europe. You are going to be shocked by which country holds the #1 spot, and why its passport might just be the most powerful plan B on the planet. Let's kick off our countdown with the program that started it all, the platinum standard of citizenship by investment, the beautiful two-island nation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Established way back in 1984, this is the oldest and one of the most respected programs on the planet. Think of it as the blue-chip stock of second passports. It's stable, it's reliable, and it has a proven track record of delivering for its citizens. So, how do you become a citizen of this Caribbean paradise? There are 2 main pathways. The first, and most straightforward, is a non-refundable contribution to the country's sustainable island state contribution. As of now, for a single applicant, that's a donation of $250,000. This money goes directly into funding infrastructure, education, healthcare, and sustainable tourism projects on the islands. You're not just buying a passport, you're investing in the future of a nation. The second route is through real estate. This is for the investor who wants a tangible asset, a place to call home, or a property that can generate rental income. You must invest a minimum of $400,000 in a government-approved real estate project, like a luxury villa or a share in a 5-star resort. You have to hold this property for at least 7 years, but after that, you're free to sell it, potentially recouping your initial investment while retaining your citizenship for life. Now let's talk about the payoff. Why would a U.S. citizen want a St. Kitts and Nevis passport? First, global mobility. This passport is a powerhouse, giving you visa-free or visa-on-arrival access to over 155 countries. This includes the entire European Schengen area, the United Kingdom, Hong Kong, Singapore, and even Russia. Imagine this. While your colleagues are navigating the bureaucratic maze of getting a Schengen visa for a European business trip or vacation, you simply book your ticket and go. It removes friction, saves time. It opens up a world of spontaneous travel and business opportunities that are simply more complicated with only a U.S. passport. But the real game changer, especially for high-net-worth Americans, is the tax system. St. Kitts and Nevis has no personal income tax, no capital gains tax, no inheritance tax. Let that sink in. For an American entrepreneur, investor, or retiree who decides to make St. Kitts their primary residence, this isn't just a tax benefit. It's a complete paradigm shift in financial freedom. You can structure your affairs to legally and significantly reduce your global tax burden. This isn't about evasion. It's about strategic relocation to a more favorable fiscal environment. It's about keeping more of the wealth you've worked so hard to build. This passport becomes a key component of your international tax planning, a shield against ever-increasing tax rates back home. And of course, there's the lifestyle. We're talking about a place with lush green volcanic mountains, pristine beaches, and a laid-back, friendly culture. It's the ultimate plan B. If political turmoil, social unrest, or economic instability ever becomes a serious concern in the U.S., you have a literal safe harbor waiting for you. A place where you and your family are not just visitors, but full-fledged citizens with the right to live, work, and thrive indefinitely. But what if you need more than just a safe harbor? What if you need a strategic tool that interacts directly with the United States in a way no other passport can? This brings us to our next country, a hidden gem in the Caribbean that offers a truly unique, almost unbelievable advantage for Americans. Let's talk about Grenada. Grenada, the Isle of Spice, is another stunning Caribbean nation with a highly regarded citizenship by investment program. The investment options are similar to St. Kitts. You can either make a non-refundable donation to the National Transformation Fund, starting at $150,000 for a single applicant, or invest at least $220,000 in approved real estate. Its passport is also excellent, offering visa-free access to over 145 countries, including the UK, the Schengen area, and crucially China, one of the very few countries to offer this privilege. But that's not the superpower. The superpower of the Grenadian passport is its unique relationship with the United States. Grenada is the only Caribbean country with a citizenship by investment program whose citizens are eligible for the E2 investor visa to the USA. This is a massive, and I mean massive, deal. Let me break down why. The E2 visa allows an individual to move to the United States to direct and develop a business they have invested in. It's a non-immigrant visa, but it can be renewed indefinitely as long as the business is operational. For many people from countries that don't have an E2 treaty with the US, like China, Russia, India, or Brazil, getting this visa is impossible. Now imagine you're a US citizen. You might be thinking, why do I need a visa for my own country? Here are a few scenarios. First, let's say you fall in love with and marry someone from a non-treaty country. The process of getting them a green card can be long, arduous, and uncertain. But if they first become a citizen of Grenada, they can then apply for an E2 visa, allowing them to move to the US with you and start a business in a matter of months, not years. It's a strategic backdoor. Second, consider the growing number of Americans who are choosing to renounce their US citizenship, primarily for tax reasons. It's a huge decision, and the biggest drawback is losing the right to live and work in the United States. But with a Grenadian passport, you have a pathway back. You could renounce your US citizenship, severing your ties to the IRS, and then use your new Grenadian citizenship to apply for an E2 visa to return to the US to run your business. You get the lifestyle and business benefits of being in America, without the burden of its worldwide taxation system. It's the ultimate have-your-cake-and-eat-it-too scenario. This single benefit makes Grenada one of the most strategically valuable second citizenships an American can acquire. It's not just an escape plan, it's a tool for life architecture. Now, from the oldest program and the most strategic program, let's move to what many consider the best value proposition in the Caribbean. A program that offers incredible flexibility and a lower barrier to entry without sacrificing quality. I'm talking about the beautiful island of St. Lucia. Launched in 2016, St. Lucia is a newer player in the game, but it learned from its predecessors and designed a program that is both modern and incredibly appealing to a wider range of investors. The donation option, a contribution to the National Economic Fund, starts at just $100,000 for a single applicant, making it one of the most affordable, top-tier citizenship programs in the world. But where St. Lucia truly innovates is with its other investment options. Beyond the standard real estate route, it offers something unique: the National Action Government Bond. An applicant can invest $250,000 in non-interest-bearing government bonds that must be held for 5 years. After 5 years, you get your entire principal investment back. Let me repeat that. You invest $250,000 and 5 years later you get $250,000 back, and you and your family keep the citizenship for life. You're essentially getting a world-class passport for the cost of the administrative fees and the opportunity cost of the capital for 5 years. For the savvy investor, this is an absolutely incredible deal. The St. Lucian passport itself is a strong travel document, granting visa-free access to over 146 countries, including the EU, UK, Hong Kong, and Singapore. The processing is efficient, and the program is known for its rigorous due diligence, which protects the long-term value and reputation of its citizenship. St. Lucia represents the evolution of these programs, making the immense benefits of a second citizenship more accessible, more flexible, and more financially sound than ever before. It proves that you don't always have to spend the most to get incredible value. These 3 Caribbean nations offer a powerful trifecta of options: the established history of St. Kitts, the unique strategic advantage of Grenada, and the incredible value of St. Lucia. Each one provides a robust Plan B, significant tax advantages, and a golden key to global mobility. But as powerful as these Caribbean options are, for some the ultimate prize lies elsewhere. It lies in gaining a foothold not just in a tropical paradise, but in the world's largest economic bloc. It means becoming a citizen of the European Union itself. And so we arrive at the European Union. For many Americans, this isn't just a Plan B. It's a complete paradigm shift. It's the grand prize. Gaining citizenship in an EU country isn't like getting any other passport. It's like being handed the keys to a 27-nation kingdom. It means you, your children, and your grandchildren have the absolute, legally protected right to live, work, study, and retire in any of those 27 countries. Indefinitely. Think about that for a second. You could wake up one morning in your home in Texas and decide to move to a villa in Tuscany, a startup hub in Berlin, or a seaside apartment in Lisbon. Not for a 90-day tourist visit. To live there. To open a bank account, get a job, start a business, enroll your kids in local schools, and access their healthcare systems. All with the same rights as a local citizen. This is a level of freedom and mobility that is almost unimaginable to the average American, who is accustomed to the complex and often unforgiving world of visas and work permits. So, how do you get a piece of this? How do you access what is arguably the most powerful citizenship block on the planet? Broadly, there are two paths: the direct, express route, and the more patient scenic route. Let's start with the express route, the absolute gold standard of citizenship by investment, Malta. If the Caribbean programs are the agile speedboats of the second citizenship world, Malta is the superyacht. It is the only English-speaking EU nation that offers a direct path to citizenship through a defined investment process, and it is meticulously thorough. They call it the Maltese Exceptional Investor Naturalization Policy, and the word exceptional is key. This is not a simple transaction. It's a significant national investment, and the due diligence is considered the toughest in the world. They vet you, your family, your finances, and your background with a fine-tooth comb. This rigor is precisely what gives the Maltese passport its impeccable reputation. So what does it take? It's a three-part contribution. First, there's a non-refundable contribution to the National Development and Social Fund. If you choose the standard 36-month residency path, this is €600,000. If you want to expedite the process to a 12-month path, that amount goes up to €750,000. Second, you must invest in Maltese real estate. You either have to purchase a property for at least €700,000 or, more commonly, lease a property for a minimum of €16,000 per year. You must hold this property or lease for a minimum of 5 years. And third, you must make a €10,000 donation to a registered Maltese charity or non-governmental organization. Add in legal and processing fees, and you're looking at a total outlay that approaches $1 million or more. It is, without a doubt, one of the most expensive options on the planet. But what you're buying is unparalleled. You receive a passport that grants visa-free access to over 180 countries, including the United States, Canada, and the UK. You gain the right to live in a safe, beautiful English-speaking Mediterranean country, with a fantastic climate and a high standard of living. And of course you get the ultimate prize, full citizenship rights across all of the European Union. For high-net-worth individuals who want the best of the best, with no compromises, Malta is the undisputed king. But what if you don't have $1 million liquid? Or you simply prefer a different approach? This brings us to the scenic route, the path of residency by investment, or RBI. This is where you first become a legal resident of a country, and after a set number of years, you become eligible to apply for citizenship. This is not a direct purchase. It's a journey. And the most famous and sought-after journey for Americans has been, for the last decade, the Portugal Golden Visa. Now, it's crucial to note that the program has changed recently. The wildly popular option of buying a €500,000 home in Lisbon or Porto to get residency is gone. The Portuguese government wanted to cool down the housing market, but the Golden Visa itself is very much alive, and it's pivoted to other forms of investment. The most popular route now is a €500,000 contribution to a qualifying investment fund, like a venture capital or private equity fund. These funds then invest in Portuguese companies, fueling the economy. Here's the magic of the Portuguese model. The residency requirement is incredibly light. You only need to spend an average of 7 days per year in Portugal to maintain your resident status. Let that sink in. You can continue your life, your career, your business in the United States, while holding legal residency in the EU. You visit for a week or two every year, enjoying the incredible food, wine, and culture, and you fulfill your obligation. After 5 years of holding this residency, you are eligible to apply for Portuguese citizenship. To get that citizenship, you do have to pass a basic language test proving a 2-level proficiency, which is essentially advanced beginner. It's a hurdle, but it's a very achievable one. And once you clear it, you get a top-tier EU passport. You've effectively turned a 5-year investment and a few vacations into full European Union citizenship for you and your family. It's a strategic, patient play that has become the blueprint for thousands of Americans seeking a foothold in Europe. Portugal isn't the only player in the residency game. A very close competitor is Greece. The Greek Golden Visa program is one of the most accessible in Europe. For a long time, the magic number was a €250,000 investment in real estate. That gets you a 5-year residency permit for you and your family. While that minimum is increasing to as high as €800,000 in the most popular areas like Athens and Mykonos, it remains at €250,000 in many other parts of the country. The Greek advantage is the low cost of entry to get the residency card itself. That card alone gives you visa-free travel throughout Europe's Schengen area. You can live in Greece year-round if you choose. The trade-off comes when you look at the path to citizenship. It's a longer and more demanding road than Portugal's. To become a Greek citizen, you must live in Greece for the majority of 7 years. We're talking about making Greece your actual home base, spending more than 183 days a year there. You also have to pass a more rigorous language and culture exam, so the choice becomes a matter of strategy. Do you want a fast, direct, but very expensive path to immediate EU citizenship? That's Malta. Do you want a flexible 5-year path that allows you to maintain your life in the US with minimal disruption? That's Portugal. Or do you want the lowest cost entry point for EU residency right now, with the option of a longer, more committed path to citizenship if you decide to fully relocate? That's Greece. Each of these European options represents more than just a travel document. They represent a fundamental diversification of your life. It's a hedge against political polarization and social unrest in the US. It's access to affordable, high-quality university education for your children. It's an escape hatch to a different pace of life, a different culture, and often a different perspective. It's about building a global life, where your opportunities are no longer defined by a single border. But the investment-based routes, powerful as they are, aren't the only way to unlock Europe. For some, the key might not be in their bank account but hidden in their own bloodline. It's a secret legacy, a birthright you never knew you had, passed down through generations. For millions of Americans, the path to a powerful second passport isn't paved with gold. It's woven into their very DNA. This is the world of citizenship by descent, or jus sanguinis, the right of blood. While the United States operates primarily on jus soli, the right of soil, where being born on U.S. land makes you a citizen, much of the Old World operates differently. In many countries, citizenship flows through the veins. It doesn't matter where you were born, it matters who you were born to. And for the descendants of the great waves of European immigration to America, this ancient legal principle can be a life-changing loophole. Think of it as a genetic lottery ticket you never knew you were holding. It's the story of Sarah from Chicago, a third-generation American who always felt a vague connection to her Irish roots. Her grandfather, a stoic man from County Mayo, came to America in the 1950s. She grew up with his stories, the lilt of his accent, and a fierce pride in the green and white of the Irish flag on St. Patrick's Day. For years, it was just cultural heritage. But then she discovered the Foreign Births Register. Ireland has one of the most straightforward and generous descent programs in the world. If one of your grandparents was born on the island of Ireland, you are very likely eligible to become an Irish citizen. You don't need to speak Gaelic, you don't need to have ever set foot in Dublin. You just need to prove the link. For Sarah, it meant a quest for documents. Her grandfather's birth certificate from a small parish, his marriage license from Chicago, her parents' birth certificate, and her own. After a year of paperwork and waiting, a package arrived. Inside was a certificate of foreign birth and with it the key to an Irish passport. Suddenly, Sarah wasn't just an American citizen. She was a citizen of the European Union. The entire continent of 27 nations, from the beaches of Portugal to the forests of Finland, was now open to her to live, work, and study without a visa. Her grandfather gave her more than stories. He gave her a continent. And Ireland is just the beginning. The stories of Italian Americans unlocking their heritage are legendary. Italy's principle of jus sanguinis is so powerful it can feel like a time machine. In many cases, you can claim citizenship from a great-grandparent, or even a great-great-grandparent, born after the unification of Italy in 1861. The key is proving that the line of citizenship was never broken. This is the crucial detail. Your Italian ancestor must not have become a U.S. citizen before their child. The next person in your direct line was born. If they naturalized after the child was born an Italian citizen, and that citizenship passed down the line dormant all the way to you. This leads to incredible journeys of discovery. Imagine Michael, a chef from Philadelphia whose family always talked about the old country in Sicily. His quest wasn't simple. It meant hiring a genealogist in Italy to track down a 120-year-old birth record from a dusty church ledger in a tiny hilltop town. It meant scouring U.S. Census records and ship manifests from Ellis Island to pinpoint the exact date his great-grandfather naturalized. He spent 2 years piecing together a puzzle of his family's history, unearthing documents in both Italian and English, getting them translated, certified, and apostilled. It was a painstaking process, but the moment he stood in the Italian consulate, presenting this meticulously assembled binder of his family's story, was a moment of profound connection. He wasn't just applying for a passport. He was reclaiming his name, his history. Today, Michael is planning to open a small restaurant in Tuscany, a dream made possible not by a massive investment, but by his great-grandfather's journey a century ago. The map of ancestral citizenship stretches across Europe, each country with its own unique history and rules. For Americans with Polish ancestry, the laws are often tied to the turbulent history of the 20th century. If your ancestor was a citizen of the Second Polish Republic and left after 1920, you may have a claim, provided they didn't lose their citizenship, for instance by serving in a non-allied military before 1951. This route can be a legal labyrinth, often requiring specialists to navigate archives in Warsaw to prove that citizenship was, in fact, retained. But for someone like David, a tech entrepreneur from Austin whose family fled Poland ahead of World War II, it was a gateway. Securing his Polish passport gave him access to the EU's booming tech hubs, lower operating costs, and a strategic base for his European operations. It transformed his business and his life, all based on a history he was determined to reconnect with. Similarly, Germany has in recent years made a profound effort to right historical wrongs through its citizenship laws. Article 116 of the German Basic Law was designed to restore citizenship to those, primarily German Jews, who were stripped of it on political, racial, or religious grounds by the Nazi regime between 1933 and 1945, and to their descendants. More recently, Germany expanded these laws to cover descendants who were previously excluded by outdated, gender-discriminatory rules. This has opened the door for thousands of people to reclaim a part of their identity that was violently stolen. It's an incredibly emotional process, less about the travel benefits and more about healing a generational wound. It's about a family in New York being able to hold a German passport and say, "You did not erase us." Beyond these, there are paths through ancestry in Lithuania, Latvia, Hungary, Greece, Slovakia, Spain, and Portugal for descendants of Sephardic Jews, and many more. Each requires its own detective work, its own specific set of documents and historical knowledge. This path is not for the impatient. It is a marathon, not a sprint. It involves dealing with foreign consulates, archaic record-keeping systems, and sometimes frustrating bureaucracy. It can take years from the first document request to the moment you hold that new passport in your hand. But unlike citizenship by investment, the cost is measured in time and effort, not hundreds of thousands of dollars. The fees are typically for document retrieval, translations, legalizations, and perhaps the help of a specialized lawyer or genealogist. And in the end, the reward is so much more than a travel document. The process itself forces you to become your family's historian. You uncover the stories of courage, of the difficult decision to leave one's home for an uncertain future in America. You walk in their footsteps, tracing their journey from a small European village to the life you live today. You connect with your heritage on a level you never thought possible. The passport isn't just a tool for visa-free travel or a plan B. It's a testament to your family's resilience. It's a bridge back to the past and a gateway to a global future. So you've checked your bank account, and you've scoured your family tree, and neither path seems to fit. Does that mean the door to a second citizenship is closed? Not at all. In fact, the most common path, the one taken by millions, doesn't require wealth or a specific bloodline. It requires something else entirely: time, commitment, and the decision to build a new life.
Disclaimer: the information presented is for informational purposes only and is not professional financial, investment, or tax advice. All investments involve risk and may result in partial or total loss. You should always conduct your own research and consult with a qualified financial professional before making any financial decisions. By viewing this video, you agree not to hold the creator liable for any loss or damage arising from your use of the information provided.
Brick by brick, in a new land. This is the path of naturalization. It is the most democratic of all the pathways to a second citizenship. It's a journey measured not in dollars, but in days, months, and years. Naturalization is the process of becoming a citizen of a country after living there as a legal resident for a specified period. It's the slow burn option, the polar opposite of the instant gratification offered by citizenship by investment. And for many, it is the most meaningful and transformative path of all. Think of it this way: if citizenship by investment is like buying a finished, beautifully constructed house, and citizenship by ancestry is like inheriting the family estate, then naturalization is like being given a plot of land and building your home from the ground up with your own two hands. Takes longer. It's harder work. But the sense of ownership, of belonging, is unparalleled. The journey begins not with a wire transfer, but with a visa, a residency permit. This is the key that unlocks the door. Most countries that offer a clear path to naturalization have specific visas designed for people who want to live there long-term without necessarily working for a local company. In Portugal, it's the famous D7 visa, for those with passive income like pensions or rental income. In Spain, it's the non-lucrative visa. Others have options for entrepreneurs, digital nomads, or retirees. The first step is proving you can support yourself. You have to show the country that you will be a contributor, or at the very least, not a drain on their social systems. This isn't about being wealthy. It's about being stable. You're not buying your way in. You're applying for permission to start building a life. Once that residency permit is stamped in your passport, the clock starts ticking. And this is where the real work and the real magic begins. The requirement isn't just to exist in the country. It's to reside there. This means spending a significant amount of time on the ground each year. For Portugal, it's typically at least 6 consecutive months or 8 non-consecutive months out of the year. Other countries have similar rules. You can't just get the permit and then go back to your life in the US for 5 years, showing up at the end to collect a passport. This is the fundamental trade-off. You are trading your time and your physical presence for the future prize of citizenship. And during that time, something profound happens. You're not just waiting. You are living. You are integrating. You start to learn the language, not because it's a mandatory box to check on a form 5 years from now, but because you need to order coffee, buy groceries at the local mercado, and understand the jokes your new neighbors are telling you. You start paying taxes there. You become part of the local economy. You open a bank account. You get a local driver's license. Your daily life becomes interwoven with the fabric of this new society. You discover your favorite local restaurant where the owner knows your name. You find the best route to the beach to avoid the tourist traffic. You learn the cultural nuances, when to kiss on the cheek, the importance of a long lunch, the rhythm of the local holidays. Let's imagine an American, let's call him David. David is a freelance graphic designer from Austin, Texas. He's tired of the hustle, the political division, the rising cost of living. He doesn't have a spare $500,000 for a golden passport, and his ancestors are all from Ohio. But he has a steady remote income, and a deep desire for a different quality of life. He's drawn to the culture, the food, and the coastline of Portugal. So David does his research. He gathers his documents, proves his income, and applies for the D7 visa. He gets it. He sells his car, puts his things in storage, and boards a plane to Lisbon. The first 6 months are a whirlwind of bureaucracy and discovery. Getting his tax number, his residency card, setting up utilities. But it's also about finding his local pastelaria for the perfect morning pastry. It's about clumsy but earnest attempts to speak Portuguese with the cashier at the Pingo Doce supermarket. In year 1, he's a tourist with a long-term visa. In year 2, he starts to feel like a resident. He's made a few friends, both expats and locals. He can handle a basic conversation. He knows the metro system like the back of his hand. In year 3, he feels a shift. When he flies back to the US to visit family, he feels a strange sense of reverse culture shock. He misses the sound of Portuguese, the taste of fresh squeezed orange juice, the slower pace of his afternoons. Lisbon starts to feel more like home than Austin. By year 5, David is a different person. He's bilingual. His social circle is a vibrant mix of people from all over the world. He's deeply connected to his neighborhood. He has built a life. Now, and only now, is he eligible to apply for citizenship. He has to pass a basic language test, the A2 level, which proves he can handle simple, everyday conversations. It's not a test of academic fluency. It's a test of practical integration. He takes the test and passes easily. He submits his application, his clean criminal record, and proof of his 5 years of residency. Several months later, an official envelope arrives. He is now a citizen of the Portuguese Republic. He is a dual American Portuguese citizen. He holds a passport that grants him the right to live, work, and study not just in Portugal, but in any of the 27 countries of the European Union. He has achieved the ultimate goal. But here's the crucial part. The passport is almost a secondary prize. The primary prize was the life he built over those 5 years. The journey itself was the reward. The citizenship was simply the official recognition of a reality he had already created. He didn't just acquire a document, he forged a new identity. This is the power of naturalization. It's an authentic path. It's a route available to almost anyone with a stable income, a clean record, and a genuine desire to build a life somewhere new. The required residency periods vary. Portugal is one of the shortest in the EU at 5 years. Spain requires 10 years, unless you're from a former colony, in which case it's 2. Italy can take 10 years. Belgium 5. Each country has its own specific rules, its own language and civic requirements, its own bureaucratic hurdles. But the principle is the same. You commit to the country, and in return the country eventually commits to you. It's a social contract enacted over a period of years. And for a U.S. citizen, this path offers a profound advantage. Because the U.S. allows dual citizenship, you don't have to give anything up. You are simply adding. You are expanding your identity, your rights, and your world. You remain an American, but you also become something more. Of course, this path is not without its challenges. It requires a monumental life upheaval. Moving to a new country is hard. It can be lonely and frustrating. The bureaucracy can be maddening. Life happens. Family emergencies back home, career changes, relationship shifts. That can derail the best laid plans. It demands patience and resilience in a way that simply writing a check does not. It is, by its very nature, a path for the committed. So we've now explored the 3 great highways to a second citizenship. The path of investment paved with capital, the path of ancestry determined by blood, and the path of naturalization built with time. Each offers a passport. Each offers a new set of freedoms and opportunities. But they represent fundamentally different philosophies, different trade-offs, and different journeys. One is a transaction, one is an inheritance, and one is a transformation. Understanding these 3 paths is the first critical step. But it's not the last. Because simply knowing the options isn't enough. The world of second citizenship is a complex landscape, filled with incredible opportunities, but also hidden traps and costly mistakes. Choosing a path is one thing. Navigating it successfully is another entirely. Now that we know the how, we have to confront the much more difficult questions. The why, the where, and the what if. What are the crucial strategic mistakes that can turn this dream into a nightmare? And how do you build a bulletproof plan that aligns with your personal goals, your finances, and your vision for the future? The final piece of the puzzle is putting it all together. This is where the theory ends and the action begins. Building your global life isn't a lottery ticket you stumble upon. It's an architectural blueprint you design with precision. This is your master plan, the step-by-step framework to take you from a curious viewer to a prepared global citizen. The first and most critical step is radical self-assessment. You must ask yourself one question, and be brutally honest with the answer. What is my primary driver? Forget the vague idea of freedom. Get specific. Are you a tech entrepreneur in your 30s terrified of future capital gains tax hikes, making tax optimization your #1 priority? Or are you a pre-retiree in your late 50s, watching the political division in the US and prioritizing a peaceful, stable Plan B location above all else? Maybe you're a young family, and your sole focus is giving your children access to better, more affordable education and a European lifestyle. Your primary driver is your North Star. It dictates everything. If your goal is tax reduction, a high-tax European country, no matter how beautiful, is the wrong choice. If your goal is a safe haven, a country with a volatile political history is a non-starter, no matter how powerful its passport. You wouldn't buy a Formula One car to navigate a mountain trail. Don't choose a citizenship program that isn't precision engineered for your life-specific objectives. Write it down. One sentence. My primary goal for a second citizenship is X. This clarity will save you from the single biggest mistake people make: chasing the best program instead of the program that is best for them. Step 2 is the financial reality check. This is where the dream meets the spreadsheet. You need to look at the total all-in cost. It's not just the advertised donation or real estate investment. It's the due diligence fees, the government processing fees, the legal fees, the notary fees, the passport issuance fees. Then project forward. If you buy real estate, what are the annual property taxes? Are there HOA fees? What is the cost of maintaining it? Some programs require you to hold the investment for 5, 7, or even 10 years. You need to be certain that this capital is money you can afford to have tied up for the long term. Under budgeting is a catastrophic error. It forces people to cut corners, choose subpar advisors, or abandon the process halfway through, losing their initial investment entirely. Be conservative. If you think it will cost $500,000, budget for 6. A solid financial foundation is the launchpad for this entire endeavor. Without it, you'll never achieve liftoff. Now we enter the gauntlet: strategic due diligence. This is where you protect yourself from the pitfalls that trap the unprepared. Your first filter is weeding out the scams and the unstable options. If a program promises you a passport in 60 days with minimal paperwork and no real background check, run. Don't walk, run. Legitimate programs are thorough. They have to be, to protect their own reputation and their visa waiver agreements with other countries. A weak due diligence process is the biggest red flag, because it means the country is letting in illicit actors, which will inevitably lead to that passport being devalued or worse, its visa-free travel privileges being revoked. Remember the Vanuatu situation? The EU suspended their visa waiver agreement precisely because of concerns over their vetting process. The passport you get is only as valuable as the integrity of the program that issued it. Next, you must analyze the geopolitical and economic stability of the country itself. Passport is a long-term relationship. You are tying a piece of your destiny to this nation. Ask the hard questions. Is it a stable democracy or an autocracy, one bad leader away from chaos? What are its relationships with the United States, with Europe, with China? A country in a volatile region or one that is overly dependent on a single industry or foreign power carries inherent risk. Look at its credit rating, its debt to GDP ratio, its history. You are not just buying a travel document. You are investing in a sovereign nation. Choose wisely. The third piece of due diligence is a deep dive into the program's specific laws, and crucially, its history of changing those laws. Citizenship by investment is a politically sensitive topic. Programs get altered, investment thresholds get raised, and sometimes they get shut down entirely. Look at Cyprus. They terminated their popular program almost overnight. St. Kitts and Nevis has changed its investment amounts multiple times. You need to understand that the rules that exist today might not exist in 6 months. This is why timing is so critical. Once your application is submitted and accepted, you are generally grandfathered in under those rules. But delaying can mean the opportunity vanishes forever. Finally, and for a U.S. citizen this is the absolute deal breaker, you must perform exhaustive due diligence on the tax implications. We've said it before, but it bears repeating until it is etched in your mind. A second passport does not, by itself, solve your U.S. tax problem. You are still a U.S. citizen, and you are taxed on your worldwide income. Period. The mistake is assuming your new country's zero tax policy applies to you. It doesn't, not in the eyes of the IRS. You must understand how your new residency status, your foreign bank accounts, and your investments will be treated under both countries' tax laws and the tax treaties between them. This requires a specialist and international tax advisor who lives and breathes this stuff. Getting this wrong can lead to crippling double taxation and legal jeopardy with the IRS. This brings us to step 4. Assembling your A-team. Attempting this process on your own is the definition of penny-wise and pound-foolish. You wouldn't perform surgery on yourself to save on medical bills. Don't perform this complex legal and financial surgery on your life to save on professional fees. You need a trinity of experts. First, a reputable immigration lawyer or an authorized agent who specializes in the specific programs you're considering. They are your quarterback, guiding you through the labyrinth of paperwork and bureaucracy. Second, the international tax advisor we just mentioned, someone who understands the intricate dance between U.S. tax law and that of your target country. Third, a trusted financial advisor or wealth manager who can help you structure the investment in the most efficient way possible, ensuring it aligns with your broader financial goals. Investing a few $1,000s in the right team can save you hundreds of thousands, and your peace of mind. The final step, step 5, is execution and integration. This is the long game. The process can take anywhere from 6 months to several years. It requires patience and persistence. You will assemble a mountain of documentation: birth certificates, marriage certificates, bank statements, police records. Every detail must be perfect. Once your application is approved and you hold that new passport in your hand, the journey isn't over. It's just beginning. Now you must integrate it. This means actually using it. Open a bank account with it. Use it to travel. Establish genuine ties to the country. A passport that sits in a safe and is never used can raise red flags down the line. It's a tool, and a tool is meant to be used. This is how you build a robust, resilient, and truly global life. So let's bring it all home. We've journeyed through the what, the why, and the how of second citizenship. We've dismantled the myths and laid bare the realities. This is about more than just a passport. It's about building a fortress of security for your family. It's about unlocking a world of opportunity that is simply unavailable to those tethered to a single nation's fate. It is the ultimate diversification, not just of your assets but of your life. In a world of increasing volatility, of political polarization, and of economic uncertainty, the ability to choose where you live, work, and invest is no longer a luxury for the ultra-wealthy. It is becoming a fundamental necessity for anyone serious about protecting their freedom and their future. The old model of being born, living, and dying under the flag of one country is a relic of the 20th century. The new model is one of global citizenship, of optionality, of personal sovereignty. You now possess the knowledge and the framework to begin this journey. The path is complex, but it is not a secret. The question is no longer what to do, but whether you will do it. The world is changing. Borders are hardening in some places and becoming more fluid in others. The window of opportunity for many of these programs may not stay open forever. Your journey to securing your future, to becoming a citizen of the world, starts with a single decision. The decision to act. To take that first step, to do the research, to have the conversation, to start building your own blueprint. Your future is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. Choose freedom. Choose security. Choose to own your place in the world.
Disclaimer. The information presented is for informational purposes only and is not professional financial, investment, or tax advice. All investments involve risk and may result in partial or total loss. You should always conduct your own research and consult with a qualified financial professional before making any financial decisions. By viewing this video, you agree not to hold the creator liable for any loss or damage arising from your use of the information provided.